made me like think about you guys. Like, I mean, how we have these little stewards that are out there, like that believe in us and like show the world who we are. Like whether it's Linda talking to someone about our product, or giving them a sample or something, or Laura and Griffin in the store, or out and about too. And obviously Janet, I don't think she's on the call right now. Yeah. But...
Welcome to the Miracle Plant Podcast, the show that inspires, promotes, and gives you a daily dose of inspiration from the people who have used cannabis to change their lives in extraordinary ways. Here's your host, Justin Benton.
Good morning, everybody. It's Monday. Must mean it's Grateful Share Monday. So as we're sitting here at the end of the year of 2023, I thought for our Grateful Share meeting, it would be fun to reflect on all that we can be grateful for 2023. Can you believe it's already that time of year where we're going to sit and think about the entire year of 2023? What are the things that happened in your life that you weren't necessarily happy about in the beginning when they happened, but now looking back, this year, it all makes sense. They say hindsight is 2020, and they say a lot. But also thinking about all the things that happened in 2023 that you can be grateful for, and I can start. Looking back over this year, there was obviously, my family and children are the most important thing for me. And looking back at all the sporting activities that they were a part of, that we were a part of. Mollie and I coached volleyball for Zoe, which we just wrapped up and had an amazing season. And and watching Zoe find something that she really loves and can be passionate about. That was, what a dream come true. What a blessing to find something where you can really challenge yourself and just go all in and be committed. And she's been going to all the volleyball camps and training, and she's now in a national 14 unders volleyball league where we get to travel to places like Reno, Nevada to go watch her play. So obviously just being grateful for her, decision to go all in on something in life. And so it's been pretty fun to watch that. And I know Shay's, played baseball earlier in the year, which is, I look back and reflect on that, of how much that meant to me, that time to be with him and, coach him and share that experience with him. There's a great movie called Field of Dreams that was filmed in the cornfields of Iowa. And at the end of the movie, Kevin Costner's character asks his dad to play catch. It's like this Americana slice of life to play catch with your old man. And obviously, Shay's been through a lot, with his health challenges that he overcame with this Miracle Plant's help. And, not knowing if I would ever get to play catch. To now, being able to be his coach and share baseball with him was obviously something I'll be grateful for the rest of my life. And then he loves to play all kinds of sports, and he had all kinds of camps, and water polo was his latest. But we even played golf this year, and he hit like a 225-yard drive. And hit it, close to the pin and knocked it in. Actually got a legitimate birdie, which, anyways, it's just, I think sports is such a great way to, such a great medium to share time with friends and family, whether you're watching them or whether you're playing them. There's something about it that, especially golf is a sport you can play together for the rest of your life. We go to putt a lot out here at Golf and Stuff, and it's kind of like golf. but I've always encouraged it because it is an introductory to golf, and you're competing, but not really, and you're just spending time together outside, which is what I just love so much about it. And then Faith has been playing a lot of soccer. She's been singing, and she's been in musicals and plays, and doing really well with that. And she did some soccer, which was fun. And the last game of the year, which Mollie had to be out of town to go to one of Zoe's travel tournaments. Like, I think, I don't know what happened, but I told Faith, I said, hey, it's your last game of the year. It would be pretty cool to score a goal, because she's always been on defense. That's where she goes. That's where she wants to be. And she's good about kicking the ball and doing that kind of stuff. She's 7. But like, I was like, hey, so like, this is your last game of the year? How cool would it be to score a goal? And so like it was like, I think in the second half of the last game of the year, she like drives with the ball, starts dribbling it, which I've never seen her do, and then kicks it from like 25 feet out like a pro and pounds it in the back of the net. I'm like, what? Where was that all year? Anyways, it was awesome. So again, so grateful that I got to spend. And then, Grace isn't quite old enough, but she can throw right-handed and left-handed, and she's a fireball. Her grip is incredibly strong. So I'll be interested to see if she, what kind of sports or activities she gets into as she grows up. So again, just grateful for 2023, spending all the time with my kids. A lot of people travel. Like, we have a mutual friend on Zoe's volleyball team, and the dad is gone like 8 weeks at a time on these stints around the country, helping building facilities. And you see people who are deployed overseas, for years at a time sometimes, and they come back and they surprise their kids in their schools and things like that. And I think that, I know for myself anyways, that sometimes we can be looking at things that we don't have in our lives, or setting goals and being like, oh, I'm not quite where I want to be, or why hasn't it happened yet? Those kinds of things. And then when you look back, especially if you look back on your life, and this is a look back on 2023, but you remember those times that you had with your loved ones, friends, family, chosen family, whatever it is, your community, and how important that really was, the time that you got to spend with people that you cared about, and the relationships that you strengthened, and the energy, the feelings that you felt during those times. And for me, like I said, looking back on 2023, just being able to be present and spend so much time with my kids, and I do travel about once a month for work, which is great. And I've got exciting things going on with work and business and partnerships, and obviously with everything I've been doing with Russell Brunson, and that's been an amazing journey, and a long journey coming to fruition, which I'm so grateful for, and so excited to see the impact that we've made on so many people's lives, especially with the Miracle Plant and 101 Hemp. Even just today, I know Mollie's friend goes to these boxing classes with Mollie's dad, keep the brain sharp. He came over to grab some avocados, and I just saw him out there and talked with him a little bit, and I could notice his hands were shaking, kind of like Parkinson's. And so, and I see it whenever I see it. That's why I like to carry samples on me, and I can just give it to him. And I know the oils, it's can be a leap for a lot of people, and a lot of people, just like when we found this Miracle Plant, you're at your rope's end. You've tried everything. You're desperate. You'll try anything. Just like Connie Wellick, who's been on the podcast Miracle Plant in the past. She tells her story of the last thing she ever wanted to try was cannabis. And she was confused, and she's so blessed and thankful that she did. And anyways, I had a sample as he was picking some avocados out here at the house, and I said, hey, try this. And, I talked a little bit about it, but just basically try it. And so Mollie got a text or whatever from him, or email, and said, hey, I tried that product and I ran out and I think it's really helping. And I get some more. And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for the people that have tried it, regardless of where they are in their life. And whatever it takes for them to be open to trying a plant-based medicine, especially one as powerful as, raw hemp is, with helping our body find homeostasis. I know there's a little bug going around the house. And of course, I'm downing the 1600 milligram and, always helping with a sore throat or anything that has to do with health, homeostasis, inflammation, circulation. It's just a miracle that we have this plant that we so aptly call the miracle plant. So that's what I'm grateful for in 2023, looking back. And I'm so just excited for 2024. 2023 is the year of the harvest. So I'm looking forward as all of these beautiful stories and things are coming because 2023 is the year of the harvest. So we'll see what next year brings. So that's what I'm grateful for. It's funny how we get caught up in our day-to-day hustle and bustle. And it's like when you live out here in Ventura, like when was the last time you walked on the beach? Like took your shoes off and walked on the beach or got in the water. And it's like we have so much to be grateful for. And sometimes it takes those end of the year things where, and if you journal or if you write highlights down, or if you just sit around and think about it, like, okay, so this has been 2023. How did the year start? What was I doing then? And, think about some of maybe the, vacations or trips or times that you spent together or highlights or even lowlights, but you just kind of, run the mind through everything and just be grateful for the things that we have. And like I said, even when things don't go to your way, when you look back, how can you reframe it in a way that is positive? Whether someone moved out of town or no longer is in your life, or whether a certain thing didn't go the way you want. Now that you've got perspective, now that you've got time, now that there's no emotions connected to it, you're just looking back at it as an event, like reading a book or a story. What could you take away from it positively? Sometimes like when something bad happens, it's like, okay, so what was my involvement in that? What was my responsibility in that? What could I have done? What would I have done better next time? And sometimes you're like, there's nothing I could have done better. I did everything I possibly could. I was telling Mollie about this, how John Wooden, who's the famous UCLA basketball coach, like they won like 13 national championships in a row. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who was called Lou Alcindor back then, Bill Walton. And so he wrote books of pyramid champions, and he's, just renowned. And he said that I think he was the one who also said, we've all heard practice makes perfect. And he's like, no, perfect practice makes perfect. And the first thing that they would do, every new team that came in to start the season, he would teach them how to tie their shoes. Teach them how to tie their shoes and put their socks on correctly so they wouldn't get blisters. And how crazy is that? Like the pure fundamentals of the basics of the game, the basics of life. And, talking about what I was saying earlier was he would say he would have teams that didn't have such good nights, but they won because the other team had an off night or they were just not as good athletically. But what he always challenged his players to do was to play your perfect game. If you went out there and gave it everything you've got, you used every ounce of your potential, you dove for every ball, you hustled for every rebound, you blocked out right, you had good form and technique, you made good passes, you ran the offense the way you needed to do. And at that point, if you know in your heart you did everything you could do, then you are a champion. I don't care what the scoreboard says, because you took control of what you could take control of and you did it. That is what a champion is. A champion is not someone who raises a trophy. No, because there are things outside of your control. You could get a bad call from a ref, or someone could be sick, or something could happen. But to be a true champion is to know that you gave everything you could to the absolute best of your ability. And that's what you can take comfort in. And I look at that same principle in life. So whatever it is that you're wanting to do. And so, and that's what I mean. So you look back and maybe something didn't go the way you wanted, or maybe it did go the way you wanted. But you look back and you say, okay, so did I do everything I could? And being honest with yourself, did I do everything that I could? And if the answer is yes, wow, champion. And if the answer is no, well, what are the things I could have done better? Right? Could I have communicated better? Could I have asked more questions? Could I have stayed more calm? Could I have figured out a way to give myself space to really think about how I wanted to proceed? Am I listening to podcasts? Am I reading books? Am I surrounding myself with people that act the way that I want to act? Am I, in this universe, you're either growing or dying. Look at the universe, right? When you look at the stars, when you look at the planets, they're either growing or they're dying. And that's how the universe is set up. So if you're not growing, you're dying. If you're not learning, if you're not pushing yourself, if you're not challenging yourself, it's one or the other. There is no constant stay still. You're either growing or dying. And so many of us that have gone through Tony's programs talk about, and there's 6 stages of human development, and the 5th stage is growth. And growth is where you do those things. You're listening to your calling, you're listening to the thing that lights you up, and you're trusting in it. And then how are you going to be the best that you can be at that? Whether it's basketball or yoga or business or being a dad, whatever it is, if whatever your calling is, then be a forever student and find mentors. I was looking at something on social media today, and somebody's like, which entrepreneur should I follow in 2024? And like everybody's listing all these names. And of course, Russell was one, and Gary Vee, and Alex Hormozy, a couple other people. And my answer was, I didn't tell him who to follow. I said, hey, bro. I didn't say, hey, bro. But if I was talking to him, I probably would. I said, choose one mentor. Choose one mentor that has the thing that you want, the thing that's most important to you in your life. And make sure that that mentor has helped others do that exact same thing. But the key is choose one. Because if you have more than one mentor in one specific area of your life that you want to become a champion at, you'll get confused if you listen to more than one. So do your research. It might take you 6 months. It might take you 6 years to find the right mentor. You might think you have the right mentor, and then it kind of fades off, and you got to go find another one. Or you pick one mentor and you've learned everything you could possibly learn from them, and it's time to find a new mentor. But remember, you're either growing or you're dying in this universe. That's how it works. There's no two ways about it. And so I challenge myself, I challenge you, challenge everybody to find the thing that lights you up and find a mentor that can help you, a coach like John Wooden, that can help you become the absolute best at what you have. Because when you become the best at what you are called to do, you can help and serve so many people. When I was called and found this miracle plant to help, heal my son, it was like, okay. And that was my covenant with God to pay it forward to reach 1 billion people by 2025, because I knew I had the communication skills. I knew I had the business skills. I knew I had the ability, the potential, the capacity to do it. A lot of people might think I'm crazy, like 1 billion people by 2025. Come on, Justin, that's nuts. You'll never reach that. Or you don't necessarily want to surround yourself with those people. Or you have faith and you take action. I was reading this book called Where It Will Place You Wherever You Wish to Be Amongst Men. It's a Napoleon Hill manuscript that we put out with Secrets to Success. And in lesson 9, it talks about how people think that, they think about Jesus and they think about, it was cool religion. What a cool thing. It's like, you're missing the point. Like in the Bible, it talks about how Jesus to have faith like a child. And the difference between a child and an adult is that a child will take action in faith not with just belief, not knowing if there's anything on the other end, but they will just take action because they have belief, because they have faith, because the world hasn't told them, conditioned them that they can't have it. Like we talked about before in the past, it's like the beauty of being 7. We have our daughter Faith, of all names. And to know that you haven't been beaten down. You can have whatever you want. And that's what the passage was talking about in the book, was like, it's so much more than just a religion. It's the teachings. It's the truth in the fact that if you take action like a child with belief, it will come true. Again, that's how it works. That's how the universe works. And if you're doubting what I've said, I challenge you to understand, why do you have that belief? Is that your belief? Did something happen in your life that made you, that allowed you to lose faith, lose belief that what you are called to do, what you believe you want to do, cannot happen? And then I challenge you to rewrite that story. Instead of being the victim in that story, become the victor. I rose above, the phoenix of the ashes. Because the stories that we tell ourselves lead to the emotions that we live. And we have an opportunity every day to look back, like today, on 2023, of all the amazing highlights. I challenge you to write them all down. Write down 50 of them. And look back and be like, oh my gosh, what a blessing my life is. And then that's how you start your day. Take a picture of it, put it on your phone, look at it every day. Have a journal, write it down. This was a really great day. I'm going to write that down. I don't ever want to forget this. Anyways, got me on my soapbox. Who wants to go next?
Yeah, on the coattails of that, I was just reading this article about, Edenic smoothies. It's a smoothie place on Main Street that they opened this year, and it's all organic and such good stuff, real food. And I read this article on, like, I guess they kind of have a blog, and they said it was right when they opened their store, because they usually had they operated out of a truck for a while, and right when they opened their store, it's a couple, it's a married couple, so the girl got pregnant, and it's their first baby, and so they've been open for like 8 months now. And the husband was kind of writing and reflecting on what they were like, how they handled that news, because they weren't expecting it, and they had to, basically find people that they could trust with their baby, which is their first baby, and it took a lot for them to be able to pass that on. And he talked about the process of finding people and like what was crucial in their decision making process of who to choose and how to pass on their values and make sure that their values are represented in the store and stuff. And it made me like think about you guys, like, I mean, how we have these little stewards that are out there, like, that believe in us and like show the world who we are, like whether it's Linda talking to someone about our product, or giving them a sample or something, or Laura and Griffin in the store, or out and about too. And obviously Janet, I don't think she's on the call right now, but Janet doing all she does. And it's just like, I felt so grateful that we have that. Justin and I are good people, and we believe strongly in helping people and finding people to represent your values and pass them on to your customers. I mean, we get so much positive feedback from customers, and so little negative, like barely any. So, and also just about our products in general. negative, not so much negative either. So it's just really gratifying, really, humbling, and just makes me feel real good inside. So overall, just looking back on this year, I've had, there's been some challenges, I have to say, and to be a true human, that's part of life, is just to face the challenges and not, pretend that there aren't any. But I feel like one of my main things was to really start to focus on relationships, and like Justin was saying too, just how important that is, who you spend your time with. And I think most of all, I've been prioritizing time with my dad, and like literally every single time I get a text or call, I think he's dead. Like, that's where we're at here, folks. And so, every single opportunity we have, or I have, to hang out with him, I'm there. So I'm grateful I've made that shift. It has been very hard. And also like amazing, because I didn't realize how little I've done that in my life. I have not spent much time with my parents, like me with them. It's always been about hunts, or it's always been about my kids, which is great. Like, that was our connection for a really long time. And to spend time with them without anyone else, like I went to the Rubicon to see our friend Andrew's show this weekend, just them and me. It was really cool. And it was actually, Zoe was going to come with us, and she was sick, and there was an empty seat there. And I just couldn't help but think that Hans was there with us, like just thinking about, it used to be 4, now it's 3. But it's okay, because, we're close, and we talk more about real things. And, whether it took 80 or however long years, 40 years for us to kind of get there, I feel like we're there. So, it's pretty cool. It's all evolving, and, it will take time, but very special. So I think that's been my focus for this year, and I feel really good about it, and that it's actually been happening. So, and we also do need to plan a Christmas party. I can't believe we haven't settled on something. I haven't even really talked to you guys about it, but I've been talking to Justin. But we need to find a date, guys. So I think I'm going to text some. Are you guys all here over the break? Like, you guys don't have Christmas break like we do, but is anyone traveling anytime?
No, I'm here I'm not traveling.
I'm here too.
Okay. You're here too. Okay. Well, I will check with Griffin and see. But I think we just have to, like, whether we do it at a breakfast or we could do it at our house.
My mom's coming back for the week after Christmas, so we could have an even bigger one. Yeah, and even invite Kristen and Jax if they can make it. Who knows?
Oh yeah, she's not on the call today.
No.
I'll send a text out to everybody and get that going. Yeah, definitely the week your mom's back. That would be perfect. Hopefully you guys are there. It's the week after Christmas, till the 1st. She goes back on the 1st. So, all right, that's all from me.
Good stuff. And again, like, the reason why we do these grateful shares is obviously, it's to get the week started off right, to get the mindset started off looking for what's right. So more of what's right will be attracted, and you could find more of what's right. More of what's right can keep coming towards you. And, doing these like mental exercises, like looking back on your year, which again, gets you in a great place, gets you in a great state of mind. You're like, wow, look at how much I've done, or all the incredible things that have happened. That's why when we had COVID, and like they were canceling holidays and people weren't getting together and people weren't going to church or going to their restaurants. It was like everything seemed so discombobulated. It was like we didn't have our rhythm, our rites of passage. And you know, these things that we do, you know, humans, we're creatures of habit. And if you get into the habit of writing 3 things that you're grateful for that to start your day, or if you at the end of the day, you write 3 things that happened that, you know, you were grateful for. And before you go to bed, if you write 3, if you say 3 things, or you write 3 things of things that you want to happen tomorrow, or things that are on your mind, or even if it's one thing, that your subconscious will figure it out. That's why you've heard me always say, like, if there's ever a big decision or something that's weighing on you, just know that you're going to be able to solve it. And know that if you just sleep on it, just allow your subconscious brain to figure it out, because you figured everything else out up until this point in life, and you'll figure out whatever it is that you're going through right now. And just give yourself that space, sleep on it, and allow your brain to do what it does best, and figure it out. And so again, that's why we do these grateful shares every Monday, to get your mind in the right place. And can you imagine if you like look through your journal and you flip back through the pages, if you write things down? I use a couple different ones. I like Brendan Burchard's high performance one, and John Lee Dumas has a good one as well. Or you can just write down stuff on just like this paper. It doesn't have to have any questions or anything on it. But when you look back, and I'm going to do that, and you look at like all the things that you did, or all the goals and the dreams and the hopes and all the things, and you get a chance to really breathe in what 2023 is. And then you can, you know, look towards 2024 and start writing your goals. You know, how did I do in 2023? Did I accomplish the things that I wanted to accomplish? Why did I? Why didn't I not? You know, and what are the things that I could improve on? And that's what I was talking about earlier. Was like, if there are areas that you can improve on, well, we live in this incredible age now that, you know, they call it the information age, but now it's like, how do you sort through all the information? Now you've got a million different people that'll tell you how to do something, but now you got to discern through the information to find the people or the organizations that are proven, that will help you figure out that piece to unlock whatever it is that wants to bring you joy. And I think a lot of I think everybody needs, should, in my opinion, have some type of mindset coach or community or morning ritual or rhythm, because and that's the way you start your day, like we're doing it with the grateful shares. But then also, like, here's the big one for like Tiger Woods, right? He played with his son in his father-son tournament over the weekend. It's super cool. And little Charlie's out driving his dad. He's 14. It's crazy. Swings just like him. And, you know, when you see, and when Tiger was a kid, his dad would not, he said, you only got 90 seconds to be mad, because that's the physiological response that your body has, the chemical releases, you know, the adrenaline, all of the cortisol, the things that release your brain, release into your bloodstream, that feeling that you feel, that fight or flight, when something happens the way you didn't want it to happen. And you have fear, right? And whether it's fear of loss, you won't be loved. That's an emotional response that you're having. Well, Tiger's dad said, hey, I'll give you 90 seconds to be as mad as you want, but that's it. After 90 seconds, you need to learn to reset your brain and focus on the next golf shot. And to me, that just resonates with life. Like, that's the thing I'm working on. Like, that's the one I want to solve. That's the one I'm going to solve, is how, when something happens in life, that I give myself 90 seconds to feel it, but then I am going to be able to reset my brain. What are the things that I can do? Who are the people? Who are the people that have solved that, right? In Tony Robbins' world, it's about state. So you make a power move and you chant, or you go for a walk and you repeat things, right? It's called auto-suggestion. And you figure out what works best for you, right? And you have like a list of 20 things. go for a walk, call a friend, help somebody else, wash my car, read a book, scream, whatever it is, but figure it out, because our lives are our emotional states, our emotional homes. What are the things that we live in, right? If you write the 5 things that the most common feelings that you have in your life, you can write them down, right? Is it joy, or is it stress? Is it happiness, or is it anxiety? Right? And from all these people that I read, you talk about, like, if you have depression, it's because you're living in the past. You're reliving things that aren't here anymore. That's not even real. And unless you have DeLorean, there's nothing you could do about it. And if you're living in stress and anxiety, it means you're living in the future, a future based in fear. But if you're living with hope, if that's the emotional home for you, is hope and optimism and positivity, it's because you're either living in the moment, appreciating what you have, or you're living in the future with belief, like a 7-year-old. And so these are the things that I'm working on for 2024. You want to talk about a New Year's resolution? I look forward to continuing to understand how I can snap out of a bad reaction after 90 seconds and continue to read books, podcasts, mentors, gurus, courses, retreats, masterminds, people, whatever it takes, because we only have so much time on this earth. And we're not guaranteed to live to 70 or 80. No one knows when your number is going to be called. So the time that we're here, we owe it to ourselves to be in a state of joy and hope and happiness. And it's on you to take full responsibility for your emotions. It's no one else's fault. It's not what happened to you. It's not anyone else's responsibility but your own. Because you are in control of your reactions. And if you're not, that's a choice. And it's a choice that you can work on. So as I continue to work on whatever I can find that works for me, it doesn't necessarily work for you, but I'll share what works for me in 2024, because I want all of us to be happy. I want all of us to have joy. I want all of us to live the life that we're supposed to live. Like I talk to people, in the office, and I'll probably be in the office more in 2024, is like, people come in and they're looking for something to help with stress or anxiety. And of course, we talk about Chill-X and passion flower and all the raw hemp benefits. But then I say, it's the life that we live, right? It's the phones, it's the social media, it's everything that's happened in the last, especially 5 to 10 years. And it's like, could you imagine if you lived on an island, if all of us lived on an island, and we had our own islands, but we could pop around to each other islands like, Moana, but like we all had our own islands, and we woke up in the morning whenever we wanted to, sun came up, right? And we go for a walk on the beach. We're looking at seashells and sand dollars, seeing the waves crash in. And the first time that we have a thought of something to do for the day is deciding whether or not we want coconut juice for breakfast or pineapple juice for breakfast. That is a reality. It can become a reality, but it also could become a state of mind. Because when you put yourself in that state, in that story right now, how is your emotional level? How are your chemicals being released into your blood, right? Is it oxytocin, the chemical of love, right? That's actually in, human breast milk. That's why it's called, along with, cannabinoids like CBD. But your brain, your subconscious, your brain doesn't know the difference when you're listening to a story like that, or if you're actually experiencing it. And those are the emotions that you can feel, that you get to feel. And if you continue to paint that picture in your head, like, let's say that's what you want. That's on my top 10 list, is to own my own island. Been shopping for them in Bahamas. And if you paint that picture and you live that life, if you constantly live that life in your head and you believe it, you feel it, you see it, you feel the experiences and the emotions, it will come true. If you stay focused and you don't give up. And if you give it all you have, really the key is, it's time's going to pass anyways. You might as well do something with it. And as long as you don't stop, as long as you don't give up, it will always come true. So anyways, with that, I know it's the bewitching hour. So on the count of 3, let's say heal the world. Get out there and heal it. Whether it's a smile or some CBD or anything that we can do to help others. And it's been such an amazing 2023. Thank you, everyone, for all your hard work and for just being you and sharing your testimony about this miracle plant and helping others as they look for hope. So on the count of 3, we're going to say, heal the world and get out there to do it. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Heal
the world! All right. Thanks, everybody.
Bye, guys. Have a great week.
Thanks, everyone.
Love you guys.
Bye. Love you too. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to today's show. To check out more great cannabis podcasts, go to PodConx.com. Here's a preview of one of our other shows.
Season 1 of Dope History is now available at dopehistory.com. Dope History weaves you through the lives of those who have been touched by cannabis or have had an influence on the events that shaped our laws or relationships with this plant. You'll hear tales from Frenchie Cannoli, Keith Strop, Eddie Lepp, Tom Alexander, Ed Rosenthal, Wolf Seagal, Jorge Cervantes, and Tommy Chong. Available now at dopehistory.com.